So now that we've laid the groundwork for kind of high level organization of the class, I'm going to want to talk about the different parts of the class, different types of assignments, starting with our lecture and participation. So the lectures, it's online, so it's pre-recorded videos that you view at your own pace. They are hosted on YouTube, so there's built-in closed captioning. I do recommend you use an ad blocker. I've embedded them in Blackboard now, so hopefully that'll help. There are also PDFs of the PowerPoint. So when you're watching YouTube videos, the videos are going to be narrated PowerPoints. So there are PDFs of those PowerPoints that are attached in where the lecture videos are, and they're also in a folder at the bottom of the main page. There are also PDFs of handwritten work. Part of the videos will be like video of me writing, and that handwritten work will also be, I have scans of it, and I will, will be posted. So when you're watching a set of videos, like the one you're currently watching, you will be looking for sets of videos that there will be questions throughout there. And functionally, this is like attendance, right? Like if you attended class, you would see, I put in my on-campus classes things that are only there in person. And so this is the same thing. These are questions that are only in the videos. You cannot look at them in the PDFs. You have to find them in the videos, and there'll be a blue border. You'll see, it's going to be distinct. You'll see what it looks like here in a little bit. This is graded. I'm grading just for completion. Are you answering the right number of questions in a coherent and reasonable way? If you answer yellow to a yes or no question, that's not correct. If I ask you what is the color of something and you say true, you might not be getting credit for that. But we just want to have submitted answers, so something in there to get that completion grade. And so I have to do this. I want to do this attendance with the online videos, and I want to make sure you're watching them. And so the reason why I've made the questions chemistry related is because I want you to get some immediate practice, right? I'm going to talk about something, and then you're going to do basically, I'm going to like work an example, then you try it. And so you get some immediate practice. You can break up some passively watching videos. You're not just sitting there watching out an hour change of chemistry. You're stopping and working a little bit. Also, it highlights important concepts. If something is important enough for me to say, hey, give it a go, try it, it's probably important enough to show up like on a test. This overall use of participation fits into how I think about learning. This is not just how I think about learning in like the context of school. This is like when I've been learning to cook over the past few years, this is how you do it. So in the context of school, I talk about something in lecture, you learn how to do it, I evaluate you on that topic, you get feedback on how to improve. So we got to work through this loop as many times as possible. So I could lecture on a topic, you could wait till right before the test till you cram, you take the test while you're exhausted. I don't give you grades for like 2 or more weeks. That's not good, right? This is months to get through the loop. Instead, I lecture on topic, I work an example, you do an example on your own, you work that participation question, and then I explain the example. With online, there is going to be a break here. I will post solutions, but they'll be available after they're due. So if you're working on like Tuesday afternoon, you could watch the solution on like Wednesday. It's not like on campus where I immediately explain it, but I will be pointing out common issues. And if you ever have questions, if you get questions wrong, let's talk about it. Let's make sure you can get those right. Those are important things. The questions and the participation assignments are important. And also that's why we also have lab and homework. It's more covering the same things over and over again, getting more and more opportunities to work through stuff, to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. I'm a big fan of that. I like it when you make mistakes because then you can learn. For this set of videos, for this first set of videos, we don't have a participation questions that are related to chemistry, but this is what it'll look like. I told you the blue border would be noticeable. So for this week, you're going to, instead of answering chemistry questions, you're going to go into a discussion board and you're going to answer some questions about yourself. There's 9 questions, just kind of information about you. They're pretty kind of more involved here because I like, with online, it makes it easier to kind of put names to people. I'll learn your names, I want to learn your names real fast. And this helps me when I have some bits of information about you. So this is due Wednesday. What is that, the 14th? Just answering questions by yourself. It's a participation grade, so answer questions by yourself is part of the grade. You get graded for it, so be sure to take care of that. Every other set of videos, these blue borders. There'll be a chemistry question for you to answer. So let's go to Blackboard to see where you do this introduction activity, as well as kind of what the lectures will look like broadly, kind of pointing out some things. All right, so we're in Blackboard now, and everything is going to be organized always by weeks. So you'll see the module here. Right now we only have week 1. There will eventually be 15 of these bad boys, so it'll get really full. But we've got some stuff here. Always announcements are always going to be at the top. Those will rotate in and out, but we'll get the week. So we click on it to open it up. So now we've got the module open. Lab will be in there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Question, answer, discussion board will be in there. We already talked about it. Now we get to the kind of lecture material. We can open up our learning resources. So every week we'll have one of those. This is where you can find links to the book. So this right here is a direct link to the book, the chapter we're in. So this is the start of chapter 10. There's also a link to the PDF version of the book in there. Whatever you want to use. The page numbers I have here correspond to the PDF version. The online web view does not have page numbers. But you can use whichever kind of format you prefer. I always have, every week we'll have learning goals. There'll also be reference information. This week it's the periodic table, so that's in there. I also have some related links. I have a couple of videos of other people talking about chemistry that are useful. Not every chapter, not every week will have those. There's kind of a smattering of things that I approve of. But there will always be this. This means it's a file. So in new Blackboard, the file will open in line, and you can click this button if you want to download it. But you can also just see it in Blackboard. You'll note that when this opened up, because I use modules for weeks, we have this navigation on the left-hand side here, and you have these navigation buttons. So we could just click Next, and it'll take us to the next item in the list, which is the lecture. So I'm recording these lecture videos literally right now, so it's a little, there's a lot of empty space in here still. But you'll see up top is the PowerPoints. We'll go to the second one. This is for the second set of videos, which is more normal lectures. So this is the PowerPoints. I have them in slide format. Where it's one slide per page, so kind of if you want to like follow along on a tablet or see them big, that's available. I also have handout format. It's more like printer friendly. We have 3 slides per page. Whatever you want to do. If you want to look at the slides, if you want to follow along, if you don't, totally cool. I also, in this case, have there's a PDF, just a Word document of the solutions for all of the examples in the slides. And then I have the videos. And so what I did is I've just embedded the videos here. You can click through and watch it on YouTube, but I thought it might be better to watch it here in Blackboard. I also encourage you to turn on an ad blocker. I am fully demonetized as much as you can be on YouTube, yet they still put ads on my videos. So, because, you know, they're not free. But you can watch them here in YouTube without having to go and get too distracted by other videos, which students have said happens, which happens to me. But you just have, there's no sidebar here if you watch it on Blackboard. And so this is the Thursday, Friday, 15th and 16th set of videos. So you'd watch these videos. There are participation questions in these videos. I think if we watch this one long enough, we'll maybe find it. See, there's a participation question. And so, participation 116, question 1. Okay, so there's the question, how do I submit it? Well, you'll note in the navigation pane, the next thing is participation 116. And so this is an assignment within Blackboard, and you'll have the this is the description. To actually submit, you need to click View Instructions. So you click View Instructions, then you can see the instructions, and then you can submit. So you could type like your answers here if you wanted. Whatever you do. There's also this paperclip if you want to attach a file, like do it in like a Word document, and then attach that. And then you can either save it or you can submit it. You only get one submission, so be sure that you wait till you're done and submit. If you do submit early, just let me know. You can email me the rest of it or whatever. But we got that there. So that's participation. What else? There's one more thing. So now, if I click save and close, what does that do? Okay, so then it brings me out here. And then you'll note the next thing, it says next is locked. Those are the answers to the participation. That becomes visible after the due date.
So basically, this participation is 116. They're named after the date they're due. So participation 116 is due 116, January 16th at 11:59 p.m. After that time, this participation answers will become visible. It'll look like the lecture where there'll be worked out solutions, and then it's just one video. So it'll just look like one video when you're there. So that'll become open. And in most weeks there'll be 2 participations. The first set of videos will have the first set of lecture videos will have a participation and a participation answers, and then the second one will. But this week I didn't want to give you a participation to start the semester. So that's the due date. We also have, these are links, these are direct links to the homework, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Those are also in the week module. If you have any questions about accessing lecture, completing the associated assignments, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. We got more different parts of the class to talk about, though, so we got more videos. See you in the next one.